Chapter 1. So, there I am, dying. Imagine my surprise. I was dying. I remember the lovely prick of the needle in my arm. It was a clear January night, and I was slouched on my black leather sofa, watching the distant, twinkly lights of downtown San Francisco, watching them fade. Franks had come by with a birthday bag of really good heroin, and I fixed on my couch in front of those twinkly lights like I'd done so many times before, and the Pavlov prick of the needle is exciting in its own right. You almost don't need what follows. Unfortunately, what did follow was an overdose, a murder dose, and I didn't see it coming. But that moment, that rush, it's like love ascending. And then after you're an addict, it's like a glancing moment of love, quickly plummeting into spiritual disappointment. Like an entire relationship in one shot. Exhilaration and heartbreak. 1 second you're on top of the world, the next second, bitter, inevitable loss. And I didn't see it coming. And then you need more. So there I am, dying. And my heart is breaking, literally, under the weight of a heavy overdose of some very fine Afghani white heroin, cut with fentanyl. First of all, that anyone would sully such a high-grade narcotic with crap like fentanyl was a crime unto itself. Second, this was my unfortunate introduction to fentanyl, and I was unable to move. Not 20 feet away in the kitchen drawer was a life-saving dose of Narcan. I remember the feeling of liquid on my chin, dripping down my gray goatee onto my chest, ruining my expensive Brunello Cucinelli button-down. I had vomited. So rookie, so preschool. But if you're on your way out, overdosing on smack is probably not the worst. I've heard drowning just before the end is quite pleasant. All of my anger had vanished. Even my anger toward Franks for murdering me. Heroin being heroin, it was hard to give a shit why. Hard to care that I was dying at all. And so I slipped down a rabbit hole, and with me went reality. The world and the aforementioned beautiful, prickly lights of downtown San Francisco. I slid comfortably back into the womb of creation, its arms unfolding, drawing me back into the birth canal of existence, back to the atoms, the atom, and to the beginning. And I didn't care because I was full of careless heroin love. I was either going to wake up in the hospital or not wake up at all, and either seemed a perfect outcome. Happy birthday to me. I was 50. Imagine my surprise and my dismay to find out I didn't exactly die. After a brief period of the most ravishing, rhapsodic blackness, the rabbit hole appeared again and was coming back toward me, and I couldn't breathe. I was cramped and wet. I was sure I was regaining consciousness in a giant pool of my own vomit, and the smell. It's hard to describe, like fish and feces and gut stink, and it took my breath away. My lungs seemed filled with fluid, and there was a taste of bile and something else, something indescribable yet somehow familiar. Also, I wasn't approaching the rabbit hole, I was being squeezed out of it, slowly. I was losing patience. My careless heroin love vanishing. I thought, whatever bad trip this is, I'm gonna kill someone. Someone like Franks, that holotypic Irish motherfucker. And to make matters worse, I couldn't move. I was bound in a wet sleeve with no muscles. A kind of goo slumbed my eyes. My hearing was a sluiced white noise. It would suck if the heroin had left me too brain damaged to personally kick the shit out of Franks. The warm fuzzy of the heroin had vanished. My senses were a disquieting swirl, like a really bad acid trip. And then, I was suddenly out of the hole and into the daylight. Yay! Hold it. No, not daylight. It was surgical light. I'd made it to the hospital. It's just like I said. You either wake up dead or in the hospital. I was freezing and everything was a blur, both sight and sound. Air filled my lungs and I screamed like a baby. I was alive.